Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Big for One Gaming here. Welcome back to episode number 123 of Winning a National Title with Every Team in the Game. If you guys have missed any of the episodes, up in the right-hand corner will be a playlist from episode 1 to 123. Obviously, if you guys are unable to watch those videos, down in the description below will be a record of every team that we have done so far, and their season they eventually won a national championship. Right now, we're only about 12 or 11 so teams remaining, and these are the teams we got. So if you guys want to bypass the wheel, write a comment down below. Any of these teams that are on the wheel right now, we have not yet done. But one of those teams is going to go away here in this episode. And we're going to go to the Big 12. We're going to Houston. So we have Houston in this one. Let me switch everything back over. I almost didn't do that when I was going to go through my stuff here. But anyways, Houston is the next team. Of course, they are an 81 overall. And they're about middle of the road for the Big 12. A lot of them are, 85s, 84s. There's a couple 81s like Kansas and Kansas State. BYU is an 80. Arizona's an 81. So hopefully we can be even better than our 81 overall. We are a program builder head coach. That's nice. And they've been pretty decent. Pretty sure they were pretty decent this year as well, if I remember correctly. But maybe not. It's been a while since this season actually happened, but all in all, let's take a look at our coaching abilities here. We do have program builder. We do have best pipelines by one tier, but other than that, that's about it. Other than home field advantage, players less likely to transfer, and then persuades refund. Okay, that's a nice one to have. Motivator, we do have mostly for D-line and DBs have the boost, so we definitely need to upgrade that. Architect, just D-line has the skill caps. Tacticians, mostly for the defense. I'm pretty sure this is also going to be for the defense, and it's mostly just scouting-wise. Our offensive coordinator will probably be fired at the end of the year. Our defensive coordinator will probably keep. He does have D-line, linebackers, but not DBs. But he also does have some tactician as well. I just want probably recruiter and motivator, just so we can have, excuse me, everything kind of lined up wise. But all in all, let's take a look at our roster here with Houston. And we do have an 84 overall guard and an 83 quarterback, so they'll be gone. We do have a couple decent quarterbacks behind them. Halfbacks were okay, just need speed. Other than our main guy of Jenkins, he's got 93 speed and it's playing time, so we're good. Wide receivers, I think we're good. Yeah, we look pretty decent. We just need to develop. Same thing with tight end, just develop. O-line, we just need depth and just development, maybe besides right guard and right tackle. Defensive ends, just need to get a couple replacements wise, so just depth pieces. Same thing with defensive tackles. We desperately need left outside linebackers because we have 0 of them. So that's fun. And we need corners. So yeah, I don't know if we need a punter, but let's take a look at that, because I know we don't need a kicker because we have 2 of those. And we don't need a punter because they're both freshmen. So that's nice. We like that. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up, and I'll see everyone at the end of Season 1 here with Houston. And here we are in Season 1 with Houston. We go 5-7 here on the season. We actually started off with losing our first 3 games in a row, then beating Cincinnati, but we were only 1-5 in our first 7, including giving TCU only their 2nd win of the season, before beating Kansas, losing to Utah State, beating Kansas State, Arizona, losing to Baylor, and then BYU to end out the season. We do still have to fire one of our coordinators. I believe it was our offensive coordinator. Yeah, it is. I was just making sure. So we have to find a new offensive coordinator, but our defensive coordinator will 100% stay. We're not going to be going to any bowl games, I don't think, but I have seen sometimes we are 5-7 and do make it. We just signed a right tackle as well. That'll help out the depth. Yeah, we got some people want to transfer out. Nothing too much. But Carson Beck wins the Heisman Trophy. 3,600 yards, 43 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. And yeah, no bowl game for us. So we're just going to go ahead and try to hire our coordinator. I almost forgot about that. We're looking for someone that has recruiter and motivator. That is actually upgraded both pretty decent wise. honestly get that guy, but this is another. You know, we're gonna try to get him. Try to get the Western Michigan head coach, and actually we just had a couple episodes ago. So trying to poach the head coach from Western Michigan. It may or may not happen. Who knows? But we'll have to see right here, right now, and we got him. So that's actually perfect right there. So we're just going to go ahead now and simulate to the end of season recap. I know sometimes, normally, season ones are pretty quick, and sometimes they are not. So, all in all, we'll be fine there. However, we'll, of course, check out the college football playoff bracket and go from there. Pro potential does go down to a D+. Coach prestige goes down to a C, but coach stability is up to a B-, and we're still a 3-star prestige. So we'll take that. And Georgia defeats Liberty in year number 1, 31-24, with Liberty, Texas A&M, Miami, Utah, and Penn State as the automatic qualifiers, with Georgia, Oregon, Notre Dame, NC State, and Alabama, Michigan as the at-large bids. And Georgia put up 56, 56, 31, 31. That's kind of wild that they put up the exact same score in back-to-back weeks from each other. So, all in all, that's going to end season 1. Is on to season 2 here with Houston. And here we are at the end of season number 2 here with Houston. We go 9-3, and it being ranked 15th in the nation, but we're not making the conference championship game. We won our first 4 games, and we lost back-to-back against Texas Tech and West Virginia. And then our other loss came against Arizona, who went 10-2 on the season. But we beat Arizona State, Baylor, UCF, Colorado State, and Oklahoma State. But unfortunately, we were 1 win, or actually we were 2 wins off. Kansas State went 9-0, Arizona went 8-1, BYU went 7-2, and West Virginia went 6-3 in the Big 12. So that's why we're not making it. But I mean, there could be a chance, but it's a very, very slim chance that we could make it into the college football playoff. We would have to have everything go our way. We end up being ranked 13th, so we're just 1 away from getting up there. But Cade Klubnik wins the Heisman Trophy, 3,800 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, 1 interception on the season. We'll be playing Florida in the Texas Bowl, so this was a big one for us, especially playing another playing Florida here, and hopefully we can get a win and go 10-3 on the season to eventually, improve the team prestige, hopefully, and then obviously everything else is going to improve tenfold wise. We do lose, but pro potential, coach prestige both improve. We are now a 4-star prestige team, and Arizona wins it all here in season 2 over Florida State, 27-21. They're the 12 seed coming, or they're in the 4. With Charlotte, Arizona, Miami, Ohio State, and Georgia as the automatic qualifiers. With Clemson, Virginia Tech, Texas A&M, Michigan, Florida State, and Kansas State, Penn State as the at-large bids. So that will end season 2. It is on to season 3 here with Houston. And here we are in season number 3 here with Houston. We go 11-1, same as Kansas State in the Big 12 championship game. But we went 9-0 in the conference. So we'll gladly take that. Our only loss came against Florida. We ended up going 6-6, and then we went 11 in a row. Rice, Georgia Southern, we beat UCF, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Texas Tech, Utah. We already beat Kansas State earlier on this season, giving them their only loss. Colorado, Baylor, and Cincinnati to end out the season. So we win again here. We get a bye going in the college football playoff. A loss, we're still going, but it's going to be one of the top seeds, more than likely. And we did lose. Kind of expected at that point. We won a bunch in a row. So, unfortunately, we do go 11-2, but we are going to be going to the college football playoff, as I said before. And we'll see where we're going to be at. We're an A9 overall team across the board. Avery Johnson won the Heisman Trophy, 3,500 yards, 44 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for the K-State quarterback. And we'll be playing Middle Tennessee in the first round. So we got a little bit of an easier break there because we have to face Middle Tennessee and then South Alabama before we really face any Power 5 school. But Middle Tennessee, South Alabama, Clemson, Kansas State, and Georgia are the automatic qualifiers. With us as Houston, Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida State, Texas, and Nebraska, Pittsburgh as the at-large bids. So our first playoff run here with Houston, I think. I can't remember now at this point, but I'm pretty sure. Starts with Middle Tennessee. Let's get started against them. They're 9-4 on the season, ranked 21st in the nation. And they're an 80 overall. So we have a huge overall advantage. Hopefully we can take advantage of that. And we're going to be home. So hopefully we can win this one. And, you know, move on. I do record these in separate days. So I can't remember if we did it in year number 2. But anyways, let's go quarter by quarter. And defense gets a couple stops. Start on defense first as well. We do get a touchdown on our next offensive drive. And we lead 7-0. Now make it 14-0. We're running the ball a lot, it feels like. We're up 21-0. Now we're passing the ball. It's 28-0 at the half. Nothing in the first quarter. Oh, no, we did score in the first quarter. We scored 3 times in the second. But honestly, nothing so far here in the second half for both sides. The defense has been insane. We just scored again. They score a field goal, but it's 34-3 win. We just went by quarter because we were dominating the game. Yeah, 21 points in the second quarter. Really pretty much put this game on ice. And we're moving on to play South Alabama next week. That was probably one of the easier games that we had against the team in the college football playoff in a long time. At least in the first round-wise. But all in all, we're moving on to next week. And hopefully we can be even better next week and get a better win and even get a better win too. So, yeah. J.J. Lowry wins the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. And that's it. And we'll be playing South Alabama in the next round, as I said before. We'll check out the bracket as well, see who else moved on. Oklahoma beat Alabama. Texas beat Florida State. And Nebraska beat Pitt. So, there's a lot of good teams left to go, though. But we have to focus on our team in front of us. And that team is South Alabama. They're 12-1 on the season. And they're also an 80 overall. So back-to-back teams that is as an 80 overall getting into the college football playoff. So we'll kind of see how it goes. I'm not expecting too much here. Hoping for another dominant win like we had last week. Starting on offense first in this one. And the offense gets a field goal. Defense gets a stop and we're up 3-0 at the end of 1. Second quarter, we do get a field goal to start and a touchdown to go up 12-0. And South, we give up our first touchdown of the playoff run. And it's 12-7 at the half. But we make it 19-7. And it'll be 19-7 going into the fourth quarter, where we actually go play-by-play here just because it is at least a 2-score game. Defense does not hold there, and they give up a touchdown. So it's a 5-point game all of a sudden, and the offense can't get a first down. But the defense gets a stop, and then they get a first down. So it's a lot closer game compared to last week. But Houston will be moving on again with a 19-14 win over South Alabama. And we are going to the semifinals here with Houston. A dominant game 1 against Middle Tennessee. And a lot closer game against South Alabama. Granted, we were up 19-7 at one point in the game, but the offense just needed to score one more time to pretty much put the game on ice, and they couldn't do it. So, hopefully, next week will be even better for the offense to do something and be better-wise. But yeah, because we're going to have to face Clemson, who's the #1 overall team in the Rose Bowl, which won't be very good. Kansas State also won their matchup, so 1 through 4 of the top 4 teams in the nation, all are going to be in the semifinals. And Houston, we start out as the 5 seed total. We beat South Alabama because they're the 4th best team to win their national or to win their conference. But Clemson, it will be a tough one though. But we just gotta find a way to win. So let's get started against 14-0 Clemson here on the season, and they're a 90 overall. So this is the first time that we do not have an overall advantage in the first 2 games, and we had dominant overall advantages in the first 2 as well. Dominated the first game, didn't really do so in the second game. How will we do against Clemson will be the question. We're starting on offense first here in this one. And the offense does nothing, but then we get a turnover and a touchdown, and another touchdown. It's 14-0 at the end of 1. Great start until we turn it over, and then they get a touchdown, but we get the touchdown back, and another turnover. It's 28-7 at the half. But they make it 28-14 with a 1-play touchdown, and then another touchdown in the third quarter, and all of a sudden it's a 7-point game. Defense could not get off the field in that third quarter, and now all of a sudden it's tied. We have blown a 28-7 lead in this game. The offense, though, just needs to get into field goal range. Well, we're in field goal range, all right. We get a touchdown, and we take a 7-point lead with 30 seconds to go. And luckily, the offense scores one more time this time and beats Clemson and ruins their undefeated season, 35-28. I kind of got scared there. I'm not going to lie to you. We were up 28-7 at the half, and we almost blew the game. Only scoring once in the second half. I'm pretty sure we had a bunch of turnovers. How many turnovers did we have in this game? They had 2, and we had 1. Yeah, Vizina threw 2 picks. He was 15-20 for 3 touchdowns. But those 2 turnovers were huge at that point. I mean, all 3 turnovers ended up being 7 points, so you take out 21 points. It's 14 from us, 7 from them, and it's a tie game. But all in all, you have to... You got to score when you get the ball. So, we'll take it. We're moving on to the national championship game here with Houston. And let's see who we're going to be playing against. And it is going to be... Pendergrass got the Player of the Week award. We're playing Georgia in the national championship game. So, they beat Kansas State. What's the score of that one? They beat them 31-21. And Georgia also put up 28 on Nebraska. So... It is what it is, but national championship time. So let's get started here against 13-2 Georgia. And they are a 90 overall. So this will be a tough one here against a very tough Georgia team. We cannot turn the ball over, and we have to score every time we touch the football. I feel like if we give up more than 20 points, we're not going to stand a chance in this one. Because at some point, the offense will have to punt once or twice. We're starting on defense first here in this one. The defense gets a stop. The offense gets stopped as well, and Georgia takes the lead. 7-0 after quarter number 1. And they'll make it 14-0 after a big play touchdown. But then we make it 14-10. And it'll be that way at the half. And we start with the ball in the second half. Nothing doing. And then we get a touchdown to take the lead. 17-14 going in the fourth. We desperately need a score, and we can't do it. But they're starting from their own 1-yard line. Now we have short field. And, of course, we don't score. So, Georgia, all they need is a field goal to tie, and they get a touchdown to take the lead. Now, we need a touchdown to retake a lead, and there it is. Georgia needs a field goal, but 4th and 6, they don't get it, and a one-play touchdown, and Houston will do it. They will win it all. Here in Season 3, the trophy's in the ground again, but a win is a win. This wasn't really a tough one, to be honest, with this college football playoff run. We've had a lot worse, or we have, I guess, a lot tougher runs. But the last 2 games, I mean, this is our second highest win of the run. I mean, won by 7 last week, won by 4 or 5 the week before, but then we won by a bunch in the first round, obviously, but we struggled the next week, and then I barely won the week after. But we do win this one, especially with the touchdown late in the fourth quarter. And yeah, that's going to get another team done. We'll check out the stats, of course, before we go. Owens. Well, Chris was an 87, but apparently he got hurt. 1,600 yards. 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and Owens had 1,700 yards, 17 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. So granted, we threw 30 passing touchdowns with 8 interceptions and over 3,000 yards, about 3,400 yards around there, give or take. Pendergrass had over almost 1,200 rushing yards, 17 touchdowns, so he had a very good year. Chris, 342 and 2. Sanford, the second, with 237 and 3. Owens at a 149 and 2 on the ground, and Singleton, 88 rushing yards and a touchdown. Receiving-wise, Williams, 745 and 7. Wilson, 544 and 2. Singleton, 476 and 6. Niblett, 471 and 5. We had 4 wide receivers. Granted, one got hurt, of course. Pendergrass added 307 and 1 through the air. Taylor, 283 and 3. Drake, 246 and 4. And Spain, 219 and 1. And Thomas had 49 receiving yards for a touchdown. Defensive-wise, McCaleb had 62 tackles along with Rhyme to lead the team. Benton had 7 tackles for a loss. Hendricks had 18.5 sacks as a redshirt freshman. That's pretty good. Rhyme also had 4 picks to lead the team. We did force a good amount of fumbles, but only recovered 2 of them. We did have a blocked kick, no safeties, and no defensive touchdowns in the national championship winning season. Clark did miss 1 from 40 and 1 from 20. Had 2 extra points blocked and had 1 field goal blocked. Our O-line was not good for our kicking. Punting-wise, Fan had 3,400 punt yards, 11 inside the 2017 touchbacks, not very good. And no kicker punt return touchdowns in the national championship winning season. That's going to do it for this episode. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, hit that like button down below. It is free. Really helps out the channel. Also, again, we're getting very, very close to the end of the series here. Only got about 10 teams left, so you want to see a team and bypass the wheel, write a comment down below. Of course, we will see the wheel return either way to start College Football 26, but then we'll get into that once that game comes out, which is in a little bit about a week or so, or a week or two. But anywho, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.